Hello guys, Susanna here. I'm here to do the block of the month. It's a bit of an angle, different angle. I've got another video that's coming up that's on this angle, but I'm in the kitchen and I thought I'll just hook up my little video thing and work in the kitchen. So this is the block of the month that we're doing this gorgeous little deer. So here's the pattern. And what I'm wanting to do is each of the blocks have got something like about that size, because I thought I'd like, this was like a curtain and I've washed it. If you unpick this, there's my little, unpick this, you get extra room again, which is quite good. So there we go. Not very, it's only just a like, you know, straight stitch. So I thought I've got about, I think it's 17 or 19 kits. I think it might be 17. I'll just say 18 to be sure. So there you go. You can see just how much extra you get when you do that. And the pieces are quite long. The piece that I've done, because as you know I'm putting it in my book, is this length, because I was wanting to, because it's a deer and I'm doing the deer in October, so that anybody from America can buy it, or you know, Canada, whatever, overseas, and have it in time, because I thought it would be a really good, really cute Christmas journal cover with the deer on the front. You know, if you want to, you can always put little antlers on there. So in the kit you get that, then you get quite a bit of this. That's for the body. There we go. Put that there. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. That's for the body. This is actually for, well, that's for the head and this part. That's for the body, and this is for the eyes and all that. So it's the same fabric, but the bigger part is actually for the body. This is for the ears. That's a vintage fabric, and so is this actually. I got this, was hanging in my kitchen. It was a vintage. It was just so cute, but I had quite a bit of it, so I thought I'll use it as a background and sort of Christmassy colours, but for me it's just going to be part of my little journal. So that's the kit that you get. So a little bit extra size, and I thought I'll just quickly show you. This is a journal cover that I made for my husband. This is he's one of his old favourite shirts, and that's a shirt as well, and also this is part of his shirt. So he actually, one of his favourite colours is purple, and I put a little heart on there, and he needed a notebook, so I've got the inside of it is covered with Tim Holtz, old Tim Holtz supplies. I still got to do the book stuff in there. It's just an old cereal box, which is being a bit padded, but I've done sort of slow stitching and all that kind of stuff on there. So, and I've also got these is a very quick sneak peek, but this is what you can make, you know, like with the, have that as the cover. There we go. Did slow stitching on there. These are vintage fabrics that I got from Lisa Maddock. I've got a friend named Lisa Smith, from Forage, and so this was part of her kit. This is on my own, that was part of her kit, and this was from my French find. So I thought I wanted to do some more, and see that went on the inside, and this is vintage lace and all that. So I still got to make them into actual proper journals. Like here, this is gorgeous. This is all, see, this is from, I love this, made that little tufts. So I wanted to do some slow stitching and make really nice slow stitching journal covers. So I've still got to put some papers and stuff in there, probably only a one signature, but I'm going to make it like a one of those notebook ones where you can keep the cover and just interchange papers. But that's the type of thing, you know, you make that, make a small little cover and all that kind of stuff. So you've got enough of the background fabric to turn it into a journal if you would like to. That's why I thought I'll save this little deer for October. So my friend Gail has been waiting a long time. She ordered this a while ago because I actually painted this deer as a journal cover, and she was the one that actually purchased it. And then I told her about, well, I'm making an actual stitchery, so she said, oh, I'll get the stitchery. So it was her that motivated me to at least start putting it together. One thing that I would probably do differently, and if you want to do that, my husband says, and once you see this, you can't unsee this, he says he looks like he's wearing a ski mask, and I'm like, yeah, he sort of does. Because this bit here is sort of like the white, you know, the white breast that he's got on there. So I've gotten one of these pens, and I've done some, you can't see it, but I've done all these little white marks. I'm going to embroider a lot of like white, like his, you know, chest, the hair, and then if you are, you know, sewing along with me in these, you really do need, this is a white gel pen, and then this is a water and fade proof pigment ink pen. You just get them from your local office supplies, so you know, they don't leak, so to speak. But so when you're doing the pattern, you trace this onto the body, so that body piece goes underneath that goes on the top. You put the ears underneath, and I've actually drawn this bit on here because I'm going to do some stitching along there to sort of colour it in. But if you want to, there's enough of this that you could probably sew, like use that, you know, trace that part there and there, stick it on and sew it on if you're not. But I thought it'd be nice to do a bit of extra sewing. And on the eyes, I've actually drawn that. Normally you get a black bit for the eye, but I've actually drawn it in. And I've drawn that line underneath there as well. So hopefully you can sit there and figure out how you need to do it. So you just put that first, then you put this little beady thing, because the head sticks on top. Then you put that head part, but you know, make sure that you tuck the little ears underneath. Then the eyes and mouth, like as in the eye patches, then you put these over the top of that. I've just coloured these in, like I've redrawn, but if you want to, you know, go on a light box or whatever, but I've just drawn random, you know, using this as a bit of a guide. As you can see, it's not the same. I've coloured it in. That way, if I get really lazy down the track, I don't have to worry about stitching it, but I probably will. No worries. Okay, well, we'll better get started. Here's my little colourway of stuff. I just use the Wonderfeel, it's just a Pearl 8 Wonderfeel threads. You can get Pearl 8 in other brands other than Wonderfeel. So I will get started on sewing this little cutie. He's so gorgeous. I'm just going to have me sip of coffee. Yum. Best coffee ever. Golden Nugget Bakery. I don't know if anybody else in Australia, I know they ain't in Victoria, I don't know where they are anywhere else. Best coffee. Now, okay, so like I said, if you've got a white bit of sheeting or cotton or whatever, I think it would probably look nicer, this piece being white. But that being said, there's enough of this fabric and it's sort of like a creamy white background. So actually I might start on that just to see if we can dull out that colour. I'll grab another one. Got bought these from Lisa Maddox Forage store. These are really good. Thought I'll buy a pack. So they're these ones, and they're only $6, and you get, I think, 6, is it? So so I'm going to get a whole heap of white, see how we go, and get started on this little guy. What I normally do is stitch it all around, but I'm just curious to see how this is going to look. So bear with me. Okay. probably just do a few, and I think that will really make it stand out, and that way you can still use it. I mean, I personally think that it's okay, and the reason why he does look like he's wearing a mask because it hasn't been stitched yet. Once you stitch it, it really defines it. Get the old thimble. It's amazing how having this little guy does help. So I'm just going to start here, and because I've put this on with Liza Fix, which is heat and bond or whatever it is you use, it really does, you know, as you can see, it stays put. Okay, hopefully this is a good angle. Yep, he's so cute. Well, I mean, the last couple, you know, I just love raccoons, and I love deers. They're just so cute. Another one who would probably really like this, whenever I think of deers and she thinks of me with deers, is Pam. Hi, Pam. You know who you are. She's telling me that she's got really lovely baby deers and stuff in her place. Where she lives sounds divine. How nice to have deers, you know, in your garden. How beautiful would that be? We do have deers here in Australia, but you have to be living in the, you know, in the forest or the bush or wherever it is that they are. Oh, it's starting to make a bit of a difference, and I think it will. So you can't see it, but I've got marked bits of, well, I've marked, and then I'm putting some extras as well because I've just randomly marked, but I don't think it's quite enough in some places. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. So by the time you go over the whole chest, I think I'm just going to keep to the white and let the fabric be the different coloration, because it's got the creamy crisscross gingham in there. As you can see, simple stitch. This is sort of a bit like the fox, you know, simple stitches. It just takes a little time to get it all going. Yeah, I like that. I think it's going to work. So what I might do is put this fabric aside, this white. There we go. Hopefully I'm not too close. You can sort of see what it looks like there. And once that's completely covered with that, that'll bring out that white. So I am going to get this colour here. This is a creamy browny colour, which is perfect. That side, there's a colour. Where did I put my pin? And I'm going to proceed to stitch and sew around the outside. Like, you know, with these videos, a lot of this is behind the scenes background stitching, as in, you know, like you got to do your homework, and then in the next video I show you other parts. And then the third one is usually my tag. I've got the most gorgeous little stamp set that I bought from one of my local shops. Better remember that, that I'm going to use. So this is variegated, and I've just put a knot in there. Isn't that awesome? Ugh. Hopefully it is small enough that I can undo it. I hate it. That's the trouble when you have big piece of thread. And I'm just going to maybe pause this so you don't have to sit there and watch me try and undo this teeny knot. Be back. Okay, back again. I just end up cutting it. No, sometimes they're so small they're just too annoying. Now, because of the Liza Fix, often it's quite, you know, tricky to try and stitch it. I'm just going to do just a little grab and you know, tuck stitch. Flies-a-fix pretty much keeps it down. So this is like a variegated. Oop. Just grab a little bit of it. So starting here, got to go around the body as well. This part, I may do this in white just to make that get as much white as I can possibly get. This has got a tiny bit of white in it. And do these bits in this darker colour. Now, I'll just grab a little bit of this. So, because it's on the mouth, I may end up just grabbing that. I think I'm going to end up doing a stitch that in like a satin stitch. So that's just holding it down for this point. So you can use whatever stitches you like, but because it's got the heat and bond or the Visa-Fix, or you know, the stuff that you stick on, it really doesn't need to do the old style blanket stitch, which I prefer. Something like this, tiny little stitches, it sort of adds to it, makes it look a little bit like skin. Now this is a fairly big piece here. Oh well, I'm gonna have to go here, which will have a really big line there, but once I sew this on, that'll hold that bit down. Okay, as you can see, quite a nice quick stitch. Around the head. Okay, so what I might do, once I've done this, I might show you how I do one of the ears. So, and then you do this same stitch in that darker colour around here and then around here. So that can be your homework, just stitch on there. And if you want to, with the white, well, that was loud, white, just do a little satin stitch, or if you want to, you can leave it like it, you know, it's a permanent pen. Once you iron it, it's fine. I will probably do a bit of you know, leave like stitching. So and then on the actual this part here where I've done these little lines with the pen like this, we're going to be stitching over those parts. So and they're going to be more in probably some of these type of colour, and I may even use some of that, but yeah, we'll see how we go with that. That is going to be done in probably the next video. So okay, now looking cute already. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's a beautiful day today. Got the front door open, but I've got my heater on in here. It must be, the temperature must be dropping. I'm in here with just a short sleeve. Okay, the colour's starting to go a bit darker now, so I'll keep this thread and I'll use that. Okay, probably on his body. Okay, now what we're going to do I probably might do this one. No, it's a bit bigger. I might do the smaller one. We'll cut that off. Don't want that in the way. So I'm getting the pink. Okay, got a bit of an idea. Can you see that? Just easily stitched. This is the pink for the ear. But I am going to use this. So this is the colour that I'm going to use to sew the body down. You probably don't need to do here because that I might just do a running stitch along there and there. I won't do the mistake of doing such a big piece. The bigger you do it, the more it knots up. It's really annoying. Okay, so I'm having a friend come over this afternoon. We're going to be sitting outside and doing some stitching and yapping. It's always nice to have a friend over and do that. I might do this one because it's a little smaller. So what I'm going to do is just do a bit of a running, like a satin stitch to fill that in, and that holds that down. That's why I'm not stitching that actually down, because the satin stitch will hold it down. So satin stitch, just doing a straight stitch really close together on the angle of the pattern. Whoop. I may end up, rather than sewing it with the pink, might sew a little bit of the pink on the inside. I might stitch the outside of it with a stem stitch just to highlight it, because the pink is more the colour that you have on the inside. So just look how we're going. We're 22 minutes, so I'll pause and I'll quickly stitch up to there and then I'll show you. Hang 10. Now I'm back again. Now it takes up quite a lot of thread. I finished that first thread and this is the second, because you're going along the back as well. So, and you go on a bit of an angle, and so that's sort of causing that bits of the ear. So I was actually thinking I may go back in with some highlights with this, which I will show you in the next video. But we're going to do, so I've started off, I was thinking of doing a stem stitch. So you've got your thread coming out there and you go next to where you've come out, like this. Okay, that's the first stitch that you do. Then you go into that next hole and you're coming out like that. Normally I don't do this, but I think it needed a stem stitch to continue it on. So you go back through and you keep it on this side towards you. The first one you've got to come out there, but then the rest you just put in the hole, which makes it quite easy. Because you've got Veliza Fix, it's going to be less fray, and this, you know, the heat and bond, whereas if you didn't have that, it would probably fray. You've got to be careful. You've got to come in a little bit, and that will help hide that black line that I've got on there, because I traced the pattern with my black pen. I think it sort of makes it look a little bit more like an ear doing this. I was going to go around it in pink, but I think it needs this. And I'm doing a stem stitch because it's a little thicker than like a back stitch. So, which is what I want. I want it to be a little thicker. So you come in, you go in a little bit, because if you don't, it can fray. even though this is gorgeous. This is vintage seersucker fabric, and this is vintage fabric as well. It's just gorgeous. Just went so well. I loved it. Love this fabric. I've used it on a few projects of mine. I'm getting a little low. I think what I've got left is probably what I'm going to keep for my own personal stash. So, but when it comes to things like this is why I cut them out, because I'm having stuff from my personal stash. But if I cut out little bits, it doesn't take up as much, and it's convenient for you guys. You haven't got a massive piece of fabric to work with. You've got enough to make what you need to make. Okay, it's looking cute. So that will go. I'll do one more, and then you finish it off. Look, it needs to come out that way and just sort of go under. There we go. It looks like a running stitch on this side, but I think that looks really good. I quite like that, and it's got that raised look, and it's not going to go anywhere. And so they do the same with that along here, and it's being held down by this on that side, so you don't need it. But I may come in with some pink, just a couple of little things in there. I'll yeah, because that's what, you know, you have the little veins and stuff in the ear. Oh, he's looking very cute already. So I'll just finish this off and get you guys to do some homework, and then we'll finish it off in the next video, where I will. So what you need to do for your homework with this colour thread, do just your little, you know, stab stitches here along there to hold that down, and then this is sort of like a browny colour, so you hold that down with the brown. I may do a satin stitch, or I might just keep it in the black. This is why I use these, because these are permanent, and I've gone over it quite a few times, so it may not need it, but I will definitely stitch the white, because that will make it stand out. And then next time I will show you how I do this bit, and I might even have some little hairs tufting out there. So you know, do this stitch here, along there, and along there. And if you are just doing it on the corner, just do like a running stitch, it says up and down. Okay, so I might even see this stitch here, I might do that in the white, in the satin stitch, just to really bring out that white, because this really is his, you know, his chest, and they're usually very white. So okay guys, that's your homework. Stitch these down, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching guys, and he's looking cute already. Bye, see you in the next one.